Hey guys, it's Lace Stone here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making an Iceberg video about Adult Swim shows that basically got canceled or left behind because of, well, I guess you could say, um, reasons. There's a lot of them that are very controversial, and I never heard of these shows, and I wondered where they disappeared to because I've never heard of them. However, when we're going to start on the tippy top of the iceberg, we're pretty much going to be looking at some shows that are pretty well known. And it's not going to be a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I could add more, and that's where you guys play that part. We're going to be in the comment section below, and you're going to pitch to me a bunch of shows that have never been heard of before, or probably been pitched to Adult Swim and never been picked up. If you got any honorable mentions, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll add them to another video. And besides that, and due to how much how much publicity, how much exposure the show gotten, I'm going to make sure that I put it in the right layer, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So besides that, let's get to the video. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, up first we got The Venture Bros. It's a series that started in 2003 to 2018, and it follows two sons who go on a wacky adventure. Their dad's a scientist. He has a very well-toned bodyguard as well, guarding him and making sure he stays alive, I guess. And he makes a lot of inventions. I remember Full Metal Jacket, that music video that was done for The Venture Bros. The controversy behind it being canceled relies on budget issues and streaming rights. For example, HBO Max. If your show is in HBO Max, then you know it's going to be running into the gutter because it's going to be ran through the gutter because, you know, we all know what happened to Close Enough with JG Quintel. The show is going to bomb for some reason, and it's not going to be the creator's fault. It's not even going to be the writing staff's fault or how popular the show goes. It's basically how HBO Max handles it. Now it's being called Max, and it's being hand over like crazy, like a bread basket full of rolls. Yeah, I kind of fucked that up. Anyways, The Venture Bros has been going on for seasons, for like 7 seasons, if you will, and the most iconic voices in that show would be Dennis Snyder. If you ever heard him, my bad. If you ever heard him in the show, he's basically in it. Patrick Warburton, a very well-known voice actor in the animation industry. Doc Hammer, you probably heard of these guys before. Brendan Small even was featured in a few of these episodes as well. And he's the creator of Metalocalypse, so his scenery around Adult Swim in general, it's very well known. So another controversial fact about the show is that it takes a lot of quality and animation production that comes into the show. It was very highly produced with a lot of funding, so the budget had to like make sure it matches up with the animation quality, and it was just a very, very struggling time back then, especially during its earlier seasons when we got the Boston bombing situation that happened with the guy with the what was it called again? The Moonanites lantern thing, where you saw the Moonanite. I'm gonna post a picture right here. So basically, when this happened, it costed Cartoon Network so much money that eventually Mike Laszlo, who had to turn over his position in the Cartoon Network studios, or whatever you want to call it, as Cartoon Network as a company, he had to turn down his position. The company ended up turning over $2 million over a lawsuit because of the promotion that wasn't officially them, the ones who were behind it. But unfortunately, due to false impressions, they had to suffer for that shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if Venture Bros had to slow down the production just because of it. And so where is Venture Brothers now? Well, Venture Brothers released in 2023 with a movie called The Radiant is the Blood of the Baboon Heart, which was all the way back 2 years ago. It released in July, and that was about it. I mean, I didn't see the movie yet. It wasn't considered my favorite show, but I did watch it on occasions, and I guess it was just too adult for me. And yeah, what I can say about it is just that they had so many iconic scenes, and yeah, pretty much one of Adult Swim's most popular shows, right up there with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, if you will. My bad. And up next, we've got Tuca and Bertie. Now, Tuca and Bertie is a Netflix animation original. If you've ever seen BoJack Horseman, which is a very amazing show, go watch that show if you've never watched it before. It's one of my favorite shows from Netflix. If you've ever watched BoJack Horseman, you're gonna love Tuca and Bertie, because they do have a similar art style where they have anamorphic birds, animals, plants, even, if you will. And the way they've made this show, it's just amazing. Like the story between two 30-year-old girls who live in an apartment. They both support each other. Bertie being the very focused baker, and Tuca the freelancer. She's like exquisite as fuck. She's like everywhere. She's like a personality that grows and latches on to other people, and she just has a great personality in general. And their backstory is also amazing. They have complexes, and they just got a beautiful story to tell. It is one of those shows where I took it seriously until season 2, where things were just being patched up and things were looking good for these two characters. I mean, they worked really hard. They do have some conflicts here and there, but the show was really good. It was pitched into 2019, and it was just one of those great shows. What drew it into cancellation was basically the production. The money wasn't there, and the audience was loyal, but however, it was just not enough for it to stay on Netflix. It was pitched, but afterwards it was dropped after 1 season. Afterwards, Adult Swim, the loving network of adult animation, picked it up, gave it 2 seasons, and from there they just made sure that the show was doing good. But however, the same problem followed the show in general. There was low ratings. Then there was the Warner Brothers division cuts that really just fucked every single show out there. Did I spit? Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so it destroyed every show out there. Close Enough was one of those shows. I would say Inside Job, but it was a Netflix original, I believe. But yeah, that's the crazy part about this. It was just unluckiness. Like, it was just during the pandemic. This show was picked up in 2019, and I really just loved this show. It was my personal favorites, right there with BoJack Horseman. Now, there also is a controversy that happened with one of the voice actors of Tuca, and that was not one of the voice actors, but the voice actor for Tuca. So basically what happened with Tiffany Haddish is that her and, I guess, another comedian, Aries Spears, if I'm saying his name right, they were being allegedly accused of filming cheese pizza. And the lawsuit was filed, and I don't know what happened, but there were very young people involved, and they were pretty much being put into a very disgusting situation, and we don't know what happened. But unfortunately, due to that would probably led to the cancellation. I'm not sure, but if you want to let me know in the comment section on how that worked out, I probably might read into it later on after making this video. But yeah, that's basically what happened. I mean, if you have one of your voice actors who is the main character of an adult show, adult animation show, and you're being alleged of doing this, that's not a good look. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had to let her go, and they had to cancel the show on top of that too. So yeah, just a lot of bad situations coming through with this show. Like, there's just too much going on, and unfortunately, that's probably what shut the curtains on the show. One of the greatest controversial reasons why this show was very successful. But, well, if we're gonna go by a cult following way, like how there's a small following, an audience at least, I don't know. I mean, I thought the show did great. I don't know what happened, but yeah, there's probably it. Or probably that there was just no more complexity. There's no more complications. There's no more conflicts between the characters. So what's the point of even talking about the character's story. Like I guess there's just no more story. Like they're already living the best of their best lives out there. So I guess that's it, really. What else is there to talk about, you know? So yeah, that's what happened. Up next, we have Moral Orel. Now, this show in general was basically a satirical comedy that makes fun of the Catholic Christianity scenery, and it's supposed to be a parody of the show called Goliath and Davy and Goliath. It's a show that I've watched, and it's a Lutheran animation stop motion show that aired back in the day. I don't remember what year, probably in the 50s, maybe. I can't remember. I think it was a Rankin Bass production, if not probably some other animation studio that was able to make stop motion animation under Christianity settings, I guess, if you could say that. So Moral Orel was basically one of those shows where you just see it as depressing, dark. Back in 2005 to 2009, the show was just it just didn't seem to be very interesting to watch for those who aren't into dark humor. But if you are into dark humor, then Moral Orel is for you. There was just a lot of dark episodes out there. I don't remember which one exactly would mainly make me feel weird inside, but if I had to choose one, it was when Orel got punched by his bully and he was taught to turn the other cheek. The woman that was in the piercing shop, when she was trying to be all cool and all that, there was a episode where she had a relationship that didn't work out for her. I can't remember another one. The dad was being a dick, who kind of reminds me of no, I'm not even comparing him to other adult dads from other animation shows, because at least they're for, it's not meant to be, seriously taken. This show, however, it's just dark and depressing. It just shows how a Christianity family is an exaggerated version of a Christianity family being a Christian family. My apologies. A Christian family being portrayed as a very highly, like a hyper fixated religious exaggeration, if you will. It's just really exaggerated. There are so many topics that were put into the show as well, and it only lasted for 3 seasons. And they told the creators to not go so dark and depressing with most episodes. But the creator, Dino, I'm just gonna call him Dino. He said, you know what? If you think my shit is just too depressing for you, then I'm just gonna go out in a blaze of glory. And the show ended up winning 2 Emmys, actually. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting in itself. So, besides that, yeah, this show was very dark. I wasn't all the way into it, but it was pretty fun watching Orel create these stop motion animation projects at the very end titles of each episode. I remember that, and comparing, contrasting this show compared to Davy and Goliath, which back in the day when I was watching TVN, the Saturday cartoon TVN-ish era, I compared and contrast this, and I was like, wow, this is very different from what I've seen. Davy and Goliath, yes, there were some conflicts here and there. There's all these morals or consequences, but with this show in particular, I wouldn't advise watching it if you want to be depressed. Stay away from the show. I didn't like it. Sorry. And lastly, we got Final Space for this portion of the Iceberg. Now, finally, we got Final Space, right? No? Anyways, 2018. This show came out during, I believe, spring. It was a good time to be alive. I was so interested in the show because of how well quality built in the animation it was. Like, there's so much good production. The graphics was amazing. And sci-fi comedy animation, action animation, that's just a good combination. It was just so much. And the music alone, like Olin Rogers, holy shit, can he make a show or not? So unfortunately, yeah, it was created by David Sachs as well. Olin Rogers side by side. You know, they created the show, and Tom Kenny was even featured in this. Believe it or not, he's the voice of SpongeBob. If you guys haven't noticed, but anyways, yeah, it follows a guy who wanted to become a space cadet, if you will. He wanted to be part of a army, space army, whatever, and he never got to be one. He ended up being some guy who got arrested for breaking the law of space or whatever. But then he broke out, then started saving lives. He had a crush on a girl that also worked in this space army thing. But basically, they were trying to find out what final space is, basically, or what the Armageddon of final space in general is. But anyways, as I continue, there is an alien, a cute alien called Mooncake, who's the key of final space. There's a small midget alien that looks like Goldo from Dragon Ball Z that's trying to follow them. He has these psychedelic what was it called? Telekinesis powers. That's what. Yeah. So he basically has these powers. He looks like a freaking testicle. He could move rocks, I guess, with his brain. He's very force adaptive, if you will. And what happened to the show, what made it got canceled, was basically it was a tax write-off. It was generally made to be a good show. It was mainly made to, you know, have a production team behind it. But what ended up failing the show was just the fact that it was just meant to fail. It wasn't even promised a future, if you will. And Olin Rogers was crushed so bad that it made him cry while recording a video while explaining about all of this. I'm gonna actually upload a video right here in between the clips so it makes sense to you guys on why it got canceled, and you can just take it from there.
Actually, the only year that we actually made a show in like normal circumstances. And I think it's just sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. You just get a bad hand and you gotta play it. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, okay? I put all of my heart into this show. I did. And maybe that's why it hurts so much. Maybe that's why. I'm sorry, why? Why am I this guy? I mean, it's, you know, and it's a good hurt. You know, it made me appreciate all the times I had with Gary and Quinn and Avocado and Little Cato and Ash Fox, all of them. Except for Kevin, that freaking Kevin. I would love to put an ending to this. I would, so much. I would love to put an ending with this. You know, I never intended it to end at the end of season 3, the halfway point, you know, the dark night of the soul. And if the opportunity comes years from now, I'm there. Let's go. Like, what do you need from me? I mean, I think about how it ends all the time. All the time. At least once a day. And it'll probably sit there and just I'll keep playing through it, probably for a long time. It's kind of like, it's almost like eating like your favorite dessert, right? And you're taking bite after bite, and then right before that last bite, somebody pulls the tiramisu away from you, you know, like, and you're like, no, I didn't get to finish it, you know, and it's just, you just got to enjoy the 3 bites that you had, you know.
Anyways, yeah, that's what happened. And unfortunately, Olin Rogers was just done dirty. I just wish one day that somebody would pick up this show and we could just go from there. I mean, the show ended up being, it ended in a novel where they explained everything and how they continue in the future. I'm not gonna say any spoilers. I haven't read it yet. So if you guys want to go check it out, feel free to do so. I mean, I'll leave a link in the description. Go support Olin Rogers as much as you can. If you're watching this video as right now, he is a cartoon creator who put his hard work and sweat to this shit, and it's fucked up how he was carried on with this show just to fail on TBS. So that was kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. It was just really well built. If I had to critique on anything, it would be probably the voice acting and how everything was carried. For example, for like Little Kato, right, and Avocado, like it was revealed that they're not related, and it turns out Little Kato's family was killed because of the ruler, Lord, I think it was like his name's Lord Commander. He forced his own kind to be slaughtered by him and a team of other savage beast guys out there that were just following his every command because he has the power of gods, if you will. And he was supposed to be just a ruthless character, which Olin Rogers did a beautiful job in writing that villain, that main villain. He did a great job in creating him. But the problem is, I feel like they just didn't do a lot with him. But at the same time, there's just good delivery. There's comedic effect as well put into it, and I just didn't like how they try to do it side by side, half and half. If he's gonna be a dark character, make him a dark character. But I feel like there were just so many comedic portions into serious events, like how Avocado sabotage. Well, anyways, how he sabotaged his whole family, how he murdered his parents. It's just that the way how, I don't know, that scene was just a little bit cringy for me, if I had to say anything. But besides that, the show was just great. I watched almost every episode. I enjoyed it, especially when the mom showed up, and then, you know, she ended up becoming, I don't know, like a terrible parent, just like Finn's father from Adventure Time with Finn and Jake. Yeah, there was just so much put into this show. There was just a lot of story. The story was great. I just don't know what to say about this. It's just very well written, and the way it was treated, it was very, very I just don't know. It's just terrible. It was scummy. It was, yeah, if there's one word to explain all the buildup of the show, it's just scummy, really. It was just a tax write-off for the network, TBS, to just treat it like that. Wow. I really didn't like that. I really didn't. And without any other shows to cover, this would be the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, for the iceberg video. So this was part 1. Part 2 is coming out later, probably in January. I'm not gonna lie. I think I want to do other shows, or maybe there could be a different video about something else. But if you guys like this, just let me know. And again, I need more shows to put on this iceberg, so I'm going to have it ready for you guys. Just pitch it to me, and I'm just gonna look into it and see where it goes from there. I mean, there's a lot of Adult Swim shows out there, and they have been treated differently. I can't lie to you. And there's just a lot of them in general. There really is. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.